So I'll leave the article in the description. You guys can go through it yourselves. There's quite a bit of humor in here, I will say. But let's get to the juicy part.
Yeah, let's go.
So we're going to start with the English. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch through this video with you all and pause it for each language and tell you my idea about his level in that language I speak it. And if I don't speak it, I'm going to refer to others.
That's pretty good.
I have collected critiques for pretty much every language here, bar a few that I could not find people that spoke.
I'm curious to see if he has got Italian. I think he speaks Mandarin. I read his channel banner. He does speak Mandarin. I speak Mandarin too, so we can both analyze that. I do speak Japanese, so I can analyze that. And of course, I'm a native Italian. I can analyze that.
Those languages, but they're languages that not that many people generally go out and learn. So my assumption is that he doesn't actually speak them, and that is based on the fact that...
So they are fillers. That's what you are proposing. They're just fillers because there is a less likelihood that anyone would notice.
Reviewed all the other languages. Now let's start with the English. Just be prepared that this is English.
When a person clams against speaking numerous languages, it won't be a massive surprise that English on the list. I bet you guys were in shock when I told you to speak English, right?
Okay.
I did not understand anything. Oh, you gotta be joking.
Straight up, his English started okay, and then just completely deteriorated to the point where I actually didn't understand him without the subtitles. And I thought maybe this is like some Indian subcontinent accented version of English. Like, I'm not going to mock their English because
for sure.
they speak it differently to my own. But I've actually had people confirm that they don't even speak English like that over there. And
did he do it very fast to impress the people who don't speak English? That's weird though, because Indians usually speak English pretty decently. So that's actually, I was not expecting that.
Also had other English speakers review this.
Yeah.
Basically, as you can see on the screen right now, the summary is that they would need a translator if they were speaking with this person.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's go to Hindi.
Hindi,
I actually assumed that he probably spoke this language fluently.
It depends where in India he's from. He could be speaking Assamese.
Along with the next language that comes up in the list, Urdu. So I'm just going to watch these two.
मेरा नाम आक्रम है हालांकि मैं भारत से हूं मेरी मातृभाषा हिंदी नहीं है असल में मैं तमिलनाडु से हूं जो साउथ इंडिया में एक स्टेट है फॉरेनर्स को लगता है कि पूरे इंडिया में बस हिंदी बोली जाती है लेकिन ये सब सही नहीं है मेरी मतलब 70 to 80% लोग हिंदी समझते हैं लेकिन मेरी मातृभाषा तमिल है
उर्दू
ज्यादा लोग सोचेंगे कि इंडिया में हिंदी बोली जाती है और पाकिस्तान में उर्दू बोली जाती है मगर हिंदी और उर्दू असल में एक ही ज़बान है बस स्क्रिप्ट और
One thing about speaking very fast, by the way, I would like to say, it is something that you do when you do have that characteristic. Not everyone is a fast speaker, but some people are, and I happen to be one. And when you're a fast speaker and you're starting to learn a language and you can achieve easily the high speeds in that language, sometimes people will do it to show off. But once you actually become confident in the language, you cannot drop that unless you need to. So in my case, after like quite a few 8 years of Japanese, yes, I can speak it very fast. But when I'm speaking to Japanese people, I speak it at a normal speed. And the only times when I do speak it very, very fast, like machine gun fast, which I can, is when I have to, because I'm in a business meeting and I'm being the interpreter, which I have done. I used to do that as a job. So in that case, that's when it's good to speak super fast, because for these people, time is money and all that. But if you constantly speak super fast, you're just showing off, and you're showing that you repeated and rehearsed that specific set of sentences multiple times. And you hope that people think that you could actually pull that one off in everything, item of discussion, which oftentimes is not even the case. But it actually shows that you're still kind of in that stage of your language learning process where you kind of want to show off, look what I can do. But after you do reach confidence and real fluency, you don't need to be like, look at me anymore, because it's just becomes second nature for you to express yourself in whatever target language that has now become one of those that you're confident in.
अल्फाज अलग है हमारे पास एक टर्म भी है हिंदुस्तानी जिसका मतलब हिंदी और उर्दू दोनों ज़बान है
Okay, so even though he said he's not a native language, I assumed he was, and I got that assumption originally from the idea that that would give him a bunch of languages. Like, I just assumed he probably grew up with these languages, but it turns out he's not a native at all. So I guess the next question is, how good is his Hindi? And according to these comments, as you can see on the screen right now, it is understandable, but it's not great. Like, there are mistakes, and at times...
Which is why it kind of reinforces my idea. Rather than doing the 40 languages, pick 3 and get to a really good level. Heck, pick 1 and get to an extremely high level. But if you love multiple languages, I'm not here to try and stop you. I myself studied so many. Pick a lower number, reach high level, and then go to the next.
For a Hindi speaker, they probably wouldn't understand him. Now, Tamil is his native language, so there's no critique of this.
வணக்கம்.
I'm going to skip it.
Chinese, he's now
Oh, Mandarin, okay.
Okay, Mandarin
Mandarin.
Chinese.
Let's go.
He's now stepping into my territory. First, I will give you my review, and then I'll give you reviews from both other learners and natives.
Yeah.
大家好，我是解虽，现在我是老师也是学生。什么？对啊，我现在在第一语文是已经第二了。空闲的时候，我帮别人学各种语言，所以现在我真的是又是老师又是学生，明白了吗？
It's a little bit of a, apart from the fact that it's 3 sentences, but it's a little bit of a beginner's approach to tones. That's the first thing I noticed. And there are some inconsistencies with the vowels and the way he expresses them. It sounds like a very beginner's Mandarin, but let's see what he says.
Okay, I feel sorry for his students because his Chinese started okay and then completely and utterly collapsed at different points in there where I had to 100% rely on the subtitles. And this is
No, I did understand him, but it's, as I say.
not complex Chinese. And if you're going to make such a short clip in the language, you'd probably practice it maybe once or twice beforehand to fix up these issues. Now, the main issues here is that he actually can't pronounce the sounds properly.
Yep.
There are certain sounds within Chinese which he's just not able to pronounce.
Because he hasn't studied it, because how could he? He would have to be 600 years old to do that in 40 languages.
Tones are basically all over the place.
Yeah.
Now, let's go look at what others have got to say. So we'll just jump to the native in the middle, and they say...
Yeah, there was no consistent third tone. His second tone was kind of weird. Yeah, it's true. There was no,
the exact same thing as me, even the same wording, because that native is my wife. And you can also
very cool.
see that some other learners of Chinese have tried to break down what he's saying, and they also struggled.
Yeah.
So I would say his Chinese is very low level.
Ich war noch nie in Ländern wie China, Hongkong, Macau oder Taiwan. Ich war nur mal in Singapur und das war einfach nur zum Spaß. Besonderes chinesisches Studios. Als ich da war, habe ich mir gedacht, wäre schon cool, Chinesisch zu lernen. So habe ich dann angefangen, es zu lernen. Und Deutsch habe ich wegen Adolf Hitler und den Nazis gelernt. Na, nur ein Scherz.
Okay, obviously
Ooh,
that was
Japanese
a joke.
is next.
And this is the interesting one. So the comments are that basically his German is not too bad. And he makes mistakes which you would actually expect from a learner as opposed to someone who's trying to mimic the language. And if you remember back to that article, he went to Germany and took part in the competition. So I believe that this is actually a language that
It's one of the real languages that he has some proficiency in.